Hi, welcome back to Hollie Hobbies. Are you ready to bring some festive flair to your home this Thanksgiving? Let's craft a turkey wreath that is a fun and creative way to celebrate the season. This adorable wreath will add a cheerful touch to your front door. So gather your supplies, unleash your creativity, and let's get started on making a delightful turkey wreath that will welcome your guests in style. Hi, welcome back to Hollie Hobbies. Today we're going to have some fun with a fall wreath. This is one that has been on my list for a very long time, and I am not going to let another season go by without making this super fun wreath. We're going to be doing a turkey wreath. So you're going to need the 10-inch rolls of the red, orange, and yellow, and this is poly pro mesh, and we're also going to need a beige, a 14-inch wire wreath frame, some of our plastic mesh that we're going to do the inside of the wreath with, and then I also have these little styrofoam circles from the floral section up from the Dollar Tree, which we're going to make our own turkey head. So let's get started. So we're going to trace the inside of our wreath frame. Grab yourself a Sharpie. And this plastic mesh you can just cut with scissors. And we're going to cut this out and zip tie it to the inside of our wreath frame. And I'm just going to cut. I'm using my heavy duty crafting scissors, which are my absolute favorite, and they work so good for different things like this. And I will have those linked in my Amazon store. And we're just going to go ahead and zip tie our mesh. We're going to always make sure you come in a couple squares, and we're going to zip tie it around our wreath. And this is the 5-inch mesh. You can use any size mesh you want. You just want to make sure the holes aren't too small and you can fit some zip ties through it. So now I have my plastic mesh zip tied to the wreath frame, and I just zip tied one per section. So we're going to start by cutting our mesh into 10 inches. And I'm going to use my rotary cutter. You can also use your scissors for this. This does have a fiber that goes through it, a cotton fiber, so you won't be able to use your wood burner tool. But we're going to go ahead and cut 10 inches. So we're going to make these little bundles here that look something like that. And those are going to be for our turkey feathers. And you can use zip ties or pipe cleaners. And we're just going to tuck the end over on one side and tuck it again. Almost like a cruffle, basically. And then just like a real short cruffle. And then we're going to pinch and grab to the other side. We're going to fold it in half, like so. And then we're going to go ahead and make sure it's nice and even. And then we're going to add our zip tie. We're going to come up about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. And go ahead and zip tie that off. So they just look like these little bundles here. So let's do another one together. We're going to tuck in that edge, flip it around, tuck in the other edge, and pinch and grab till we get to the other side, and we're right down the middle. We're going to fold it in half towards each other and grab the base, flip it upside down, and put our zip tie at the end here. coming up at least a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So I got one of these No Easies, and they are really fun to use, and it basically tightens up your zip tie and cuts it off at the same time. And so I do have that linked in my Amazon store. I really like using it. It just took a little practice, and then now I use it all the time. So we're just going to keep doing a bunch of these little bundles. So we're just kind of rolling over, pinching towards the center, folding it in half, flipping it upside down, and adding our zip tie. All right, so we're going to make a bunch of these, and then I'll give you an exact count, but right now we're going to do the ones we have here and start adding them to our wreath. And we're just making our bundles, and these do not have to be perfect, so don't feel like you have to be super precise, because these are the turkey feathers and they can be all a little bit different. It adds to the fun of this design. So now we have some of our bundles made up here, and we are going to start by adding these to our wreath frame. And we do have this divided up into 6 sections, and you can see that by the crossbars. We're going to start in 2 sections here. And I always name the bars from the outside going in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be adding the first ones on the number 3 bar. So right here. So we're going to take our zip tie, and if you have pipe cleaners, you can use that as well. And I'm going to start by adding in these 2 sections our little turkey feathers here. And we're just going to go around and fill up 2 sections. So I finished the first section, and I added, there's a total of 9. So I'm going to go ahead and add 9 onto the next section. So this is what we have so far with 9 per section, and we've done 2 sections. So now I'm going to make some more of these bundles, and we're going to work our way up into this mesh, and we're going to just kind of taper it up to a triangle here. So I'm going to make some more bundles, and we're going to start adding them into the plastic mesh. And I hope you're getting into your groove with the bundles and realizing that they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be exact. It's all part of the character of this wreath. So I've made some more bundles, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start tapering them up to almost like a little triangle. Let me see if I can't. We're going to do something like this. Tapering them up. So what we're going to do is I made a little triangle here, and we're going to start tapering them We're going to start placing these next ones onto the fabric here. And I'm going to go in a couple and then place that right there. And I want to get it as close to the tops of these other ones as I can, because we don't want to see any of these zip ties. So the next layer we're going to place like that. And then we're just going to keep tapering as we go up. And I'm going to go over a couple of the squares, keeping it as close to the top of the other ones as I can get it. And now we're going to place that one there. So it's going to be about like so. Okay, so now we're going to keep going across, keeping them very close as we can get to the tops of the other ones where we place our zip ties. So we want it just to kind of nestle right over the top here. So now the next one, I'm just going to get my zip tie prepped here, coming over a couple squares. And the next one, we're just going to keep doing the same thing until we taper up into this V here. Let me turn it this way so I can see it a little bit better. And of course I have these little small zip ties. If you had bigger ones, it'd be a lot easier to work with than the ones I'm using here. So I have my longer zip ties here, and I think that's just going to be a lot easier to work with. So I added 7 onto that first row of mesh, and now we're going to continue tapering up, tapering in till we fill in this little gap right here. So the next ones we're just going to get fewer and fewer for each row now. So the next row I did 3. So first I did 7, then 3, and then I'm going to add 2, 2, and then the 1 will finish it off, and that will be all of our turkey feathers. So I had a couple bundles left over. Just going to slide them right on the 2 sides right there. So I have these 2 openings here. I'm going to add those right in there. We have our beautiful turkey feathers here, and now we're going to work on the outside feathers with our different colors, and I'm going to cut these into 10-inch pieces as well. So I have my mesh cut into 10-inch pieces, and now we're going to make some feathers that we're going to add around the outside part. So we're going to do orange, and then we're going to do yellow and red. So for these petals, we're going to make little angel wing petals that we're going to add as our first layer. So I have my finish edge on the left and the right. Going to bring the corner up to form a triangle. And like I say a lot of the time, this doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact. Now we're going to pinch and pleat right up the center to that point. and we're going to fold it in half. And we've made these like little angel wing petals. We're going to take our zip tie and come in up about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch and clip those off. And they're gonna look like something like that. Let's do another one together. We're going to form our triangle, pinch and pleat up the center, folding it in half, and adding our zip tie at the base. So we want to go ahead and make quite a few of these because these are going to be our first set of feathers. So now we're going to start by adding our orange feathers here. And we're going to add them on the number 2 bar. So this first one, we want to nestle it right as close to that crossbar as we can get it. And you can use your pipe cleaners or zip ties, whatever you prefer. Actually, the first one, we're going to go right around the crossbar and the number 2. I'm going to go at an angle. This will be our first one. See how I have that like that? That'll be where we put our first one. So we're going to continue going all the way around this number 2 bar with our orange petals. I finished the first section and I have a total of 12 in that section, and now I'm going to hop over that crossbar and continue into the next section with 12 more. I'm making my way around with the orange and I ran out. So luckily I had another partial roll here that will get us enough to make it. I have 10, I have to add 2 more. So I need 14 more to finish up the orange layer. We've added all of our orange, and now we're going to go ahead and add our next layer of feathers, which is going to be our yellow. And we're going to cut our yellow in 10 inches as well and do that same thing into our next layer of feathers / petals. And we're going to do the petals the same exact way, but with our yellow mesh now. And I don't think we won't need as much as we needed on the orange because we're going on the inside of it now. And once we add those, I can give you a count of how many per section. So I'm going to get a few of these yellows made, and we're going to get ready to layer our next color of feathers. So now we're going to add our yellows, and you're going to need a longer zip tie or a pipe cleaner, and we're going to add it on this inner bar, the number 4 bar, and we're going to need less petals, but we're simply going to go around, and I'll do the zip tie above the one where I have it secured, and we're going to go around our design, adding our yellow feathers now. So I'm going to use a longer zip tie, be easier to work with, and the first one we want to get over as far as we can. And I'm going to go around that bar, add my yellow, and make sure I zip tie it above the other zip tie, because we want them to stagger. And then I'm going to scoot that over and get this, all the brown above it. All right, so it's going to look like that. And I'm going to go around and we'll see how many yellows that this is going to take. And we've added our yellow feathers, and I have 5 per section. So now I'm going to cut the red, and we're going to start adding the red onto the mesh. We're going to go ahead and cut our red into 10-inch pieces as well. And we won't need as much of the red as we have used for the other rolls. We're getting to that last layer of feathers. And now we're going to attach our red onto this plastic mesh, and you want it staggered here. So if you want to bring it down further, you can. You just, however you like it is how you're going to add it to the mesh. So we're going to start. Let me try to get this one up under. So I want it about like that. And I'm going to zip tie it to the plastic mesh. So I've done some of the red here in the middle, and I think I'm just going to add a few more little pieces to get it a little bit more full with the red on the inside. Anywhere you see some mesh or you want to add one, just go ahead and add as much or as little red as you want. So we've finished all the mesh of the wreath, and now the very last thing to do is add our turkey in the center here. Now you do have a couple options. Originally, I was going to do a couple things. Is you could get these little foam things from the Dollar Tree, and you can make your own turkey face, cover it with some felt, add your little eyes, all that kind of stuff, and make some legs if you wanted to. But I've been looking all over for the right turkey sign or center, and I found this at Hobby Lobby. Now, it was a decoration. I took the legs off, and it did have the metal wings, which I took off as well. And I think it is going to make the absolute perfect center for our turkey. So what we're going to do is we're going to prep our sign. We're going to add our turkey there, and then we're going to add these legs at the bottom of our wreath. And if that is not going to be the most adorable wreath, I don't know what screams Thanksgiving more than this cute turkey wreath. So I'm going to prep the back with some pipe cleaners and the felt scraps, and for the legs, I'm just going to put them through the holes where the screws were. a couple of pipe cleaners, and then we'll use these to attach to our wreath. And this side. All right. And we'll get these prepped, or we can use floral wire too, which maybe I'll just use the floral wire. And we'll glue that at the top and at the bottom. So we'll do our hot glue, and then we'll add our felt scrap right over the top so it stays really good to our sign here. And then we're going to put it all together and finish up our design. And we have our sign prepped, and we're simply going to poke it through the plastic mesh and secure it on the back. And you just play around to get this through where you want it. I want it to go around like so, I think. So let's see here. Just gonna move some mesh around. And we're going to do a couple twists. You want to make sure your sign is the way you want it before you tie this down for good. Twist. We'll clip it. And I'm going to bend it in half and half towards the design. And next we will attach our legs for the final finishing touch. And the legs are optional, but I think that they're going to look really cute in this design. And we want to make sure that they're even with the body. And I'm going to just see if I can't twist these pipe cleaners around the frame. So let's see here. Let's even them out. Something like that. And I'm going to take pipe cleaner around each of these bars here. Twist those. And let's make sure we like that placement there. It's straight with the body. And we'll twist these around each other. And you can finish your back with a piece of foam core. You can trace that wreath on the outside, hole punch, and zip tie it to the frame, which is how I like to finish mine. You can use a piece of felt, piece of cardboard, however you want to finish the back of your wreath. And look at how cute our turkey came out, and I am so happy with how this turned out and so glad that I finally got to get to this turkey wreath this year. And let me tell you, this does not disappoint. So fun. And I hope you had fun making your turkey wreath with me today, and that you'll come back to my channel and craft with me some more. And in the description box down below, I will leave the link to my Amazon store where I list all my favorite crafting supplies that I use in my tutorials. And please subscribe to my channel. If you ring that bell, you'll receive notifications when I release new tutorials. And please leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this tutorial today. It really helps me and my channel. YouTube will push my content out to more people. Thanks for watching, Hollie Hobbies. From my heart to yours. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow me for more wreath and crafting ideas. Thanks for watching, Hollie Hobbies. From my heart to yours.